Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I've got an awesome phone right here. I have the T-Mobile MyTouch 4G. This is a phone that came out back in 2010, so this is officially 13 years old, which is pretty sweet, guys. I'm glad I could get my hands on this, working version of this actually. So I'll just kind of go over what we have on here. So we don't have HTC Sense on here, which would have been on here. This was one of my favorite phones, 2010. So it did have HTC Sense 2.0, I believe, but as you guys saw in my Sensation video, that had version 3, so there was a little bit different of just a sense over it. But yeah, basically, so going over this phone, just have stock Android, actually gingerbread. So real quick, you can kind of run through it. So you had your app drawer right here. You can go into your phone, anywhere on the phone, just pretty sweet. So you could use this as just a way to select, right? You had your, let's see here, let's see what this brought up. So looks like, oh, okay, preferences for the calls. You can go home, right? Things like that. You had your power button up top. You had a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. You had your camera with a LED flash. You had a removable back where you could stick a SIM card in. You could stick your SIM card in, and you could, for I guess, easy change of phones, first of all, which is pretty sweet. And then another one was you were actually able to put in a micro USB as well. So, not USB, excuse me, a micro SD card as well, which is pretty sweet. So, you got your soft touch plastic around the edges. This is plastic as well. I guess it's just kind of like just supposed to make the phone look pretty good. You had your little plastic chrome on the front facing camera. Speaking of cameras, let's go check that out really quickly. The reason I'm moving pretty quick, guys, is, well, here, you guys can see me. What's up? You guys can see my sweet bald head and my King of the Hill American flag. I'm actually getting some RuneScape stuff. I'll show you guys for the wall. It's pretty funny. There's a guy who does 3D printing for that. As you can see here, the warning, no micro SD, but yeah, you can go over here, right? So you can go the back camera. We can just take a picture of the speaker right here. Yeah, so it's not even gonna let me take a picture just because there's no SD card in there to store anything. So yeah, because of that, we can't really do anything. I also can't connect to any Wi-Fi network just because it doesn't pick up the newest, I guess, version of Wi-Fi. Especially since it's been 13 years. I don't really expect it to. I don't expect everything to work on here. So unfortunately, we can't really see any kind of apps or anything. But ironically, it also is the case that there's no Android market and there's no Play Store on here. It's pretty much just like very basic phone features on here, which is okay. It's not it's not ideal, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah. Excuse me. yeah. We had the browser right here, so you can go in the browser. You have developer tools, contacts, clock, downloads, DSP manager. I believe that had to do with the audio. Like you could adjust audio levels and just change how much bass you wanted to come out. You could basically just adjust how the audio sounded when it came out, what you'd favor or prioritize. An email app, radio app. You had gallery, Google search, messages, music. And this was back in the day when you had to put your own music on. There was really no streaming services or anything like that. But fortunately, if you had YouTube, you'd usually I don't think you could download things in YouTube. What I did was I used YouTube to MP3 converter and got all my music through that. I don't know if LimeWire was around then too. LimeWire was another one, if you guys remember that or not, but it's kind of coming to its end in 2010, but that was one of the ways you could do it as well. Yeah, we had different applications like Super User. Super User is basically just root access, square parts, all that. But guys, this is running gingerbread, bro. I don't know if this is nostalgic for you guys, but yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Like, literally shortcuts, custom shortcuts. You had widgets. Let's see what the widgets are, right? So this is just some stock Google stuff that I miss. Back in the day, the studio I'm eventually going to work with, we're looking to do a lot of phone stuff together. I'm currently working on my degree in game development, but I'm moving over to mobile development because I'm obviously pretty interested in phones considering the amount of videos I've uploaded. And I'm trying to just get really heavily involved in this field. And yeah, so also this was kind of when I figured out root, and my buddy Alec, he had a Droid Incredible. I don't remember the exact name of that, but it was essentially it almost looked like this. That phone was really sick back in the day, and it was pretty similar looking. This was around the time when 3.7 inches on the screen. It was pretty great. I don't know if he had, I don't know if he actually had a dual core processor then, or if that was even a thing. I think it was only single core processors, but I mean, getting close to a gigahertz was fast enough. And I think he had, I know his was better. And I definitely didn't want to admit that, but it was completely true. He definitely had a better phone. But yeah, dude, this thing runs like butter, especially, 13 years later, guys. I don't want to, I'm emphasizing that just because it's true, man. There's not much to do on this phone, but it's just more about the experience, guys, right? Like, so, yeah, it showed you all the apps, everything like that. But yeah, this phone's awesome, man. I really enjoy it. It's got cameras and everything like that. If I can get this thing connected, that'd be awesome too. But unfortunately, there's not much I can do in terms of like showing you guys games and things like that. But this phone, I guess I can do size comparison just to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're working with. So I actually have another, like I showed you guys. So I wanted this phone bad enough to smash this one in a T-Mobile store. So that was a really uncomfortable part of my life. Middle school was pretty great. Or almost ending middle school. Man, that was a pretty spoiled time in my life, that's for sure. Wait, was it? I don't know. I was being a brat for sure. My brother was getting this phone I wanted. I didn't need a new phone, but as you can see, I do enjoy purchasing phones leisurely. But yeah, so we had this, right? So this is this next to a Sensation. Let me I'll show you guys obviously the iPhone, but to give kind of a reference, this is a 4.3 inch display diagonally, 3.7 inches. So even the iPhone being smaller than this, probably like this. And an iPhone SE or iPhone 5S was about 4 inches, so it would definitely sit like right in the middle of these two. But that's kind of maybe a good way to kind of give you guys an idea of how big these phones were. I guess show you a pair of fucking hilarious looking sunglasses. Shits are so funny, bro. But yeah, so a pair of sunglasses, just like regular size, like that should give you a good idea. So this is actually a pretty cool animation. This little off TV animation, I really enjoyed that. This was just a little CyanogenMod thing, but that was also stock Android, did that at the time. That was really sick. But yeah, so this is compared to another phone I really liked. I have a review on the Sensation, so if you want to check that out, that one actually has connection to the internet. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. I think it does. So with that one, we can at least connect to Wi-Fi. This one, unfortunately not. Like I said, not much we can do with this here, guys, but it does look pretty sweet, and I'm glad I got this phone. I'm glad it does run Android 2.3.7, but because Gingerbread, man, this was awesome, man. Getting this update, the phone just felt way more smooth. Especially when I put the stock version on here, just because it took so much less RAM. With this thing only being 500 megabytes of RAM and a gigahertz processor, I mean, like, yeah, it was impressive at the time, but the reality was, like, it wasn't that impressive. Like, it really couldn't do that much. And because of that, you kind of just ran into this situation where, like, the software was buggy regardless, and it was slow regardless. It didn't feel that way because, I guess I'll tell you what I was looking forward to at the time. So around this time, you could run Flash Player on your phone screen. So I wasn't really thinking of apps you could download. I was thinking of being able to go on addictinggames.com and actually play it on my phone. I could play fucking different games. I tried to play RuneScape. I don't know if it actually would work. It's kind of funny now, years later. The dream all of us nerds had came true of it being available on our phone. Now it's actually the primary way people play it anyway. At least but maybe not. I have no idea. But regardless, yeah, this phone was awesome, man. I was really looking forward to Flash games, being able to play shit like, Doodle Jump, things like that. Because, like I said earlier, in a failed attempt at this video because my storage ran out, which is great. I had mentioned that I really, really, really wanted to remember what I was saying, because I don't remember what I was saying, which is freaking awesome. But yeah, basically, guys, this phone is sweet. It's one of my favorites. I definitely just enjoyed this, man. It was a good time, relatively. But yeah, this phone was, oh, right. Like, yeah, so I could finally play games like Doodle Jump and things like that, because I couldn't download anything because of the fact I was on Windows Mobile. I don't know if you guys even knew that was a thing, but yeah, that was a thing until pretty much Windows Mobile 7, and then it flopped, and they basically just now they have their own launcher and things like that, and they focus on computers, which obviously they dominate with. It's not like Linux is even considered anything for phone, or I guess for phones. it's what Android's built on. But in terms of, and I guess Mac OS is that too. But in terms of computers, Windows does dominate. And so yeah, but coming from Windows Phone, basically I had no way of playing any kind of cool games. So when I finally got this, man, I could be in class just playing games on it. Right, that was just such a cool thing, being able to take online games and play them in my pocket. Like, because at the time, man, before this, I had an iPod Touch first gen. So I ordered one, and unfortunately, the situation arose where the one that I got had a busted battery, and I got a little scammed on that. So I'm gonna get a new one. So I should have that soon enough. They're only like $20, which is nice, but yeah, basically I'm gonna get that. But keep in mind, guys, at the time, you could taking games with you, being able to play things on the road, that was such a foreign concept. Being able to play computer games on the road, I had Wi-Fi on the iPod, but actually getting a phone that could run really high quality games, because the iPhone 4 had come out, T-Mobile didn't have it, which sucked, and it's not like we were gonna switch carriers. So Android was what we really had, and so for T-Mobile, man, this was the shit. This was such an awesome phone. I wanted to thank you guys very much for watching this. I know there's not much I could show you guys on the phone, just quick camera, things like that, because there's no way to connect to the internet. But yeah, this was a pretty sweet phone. It's pretty sweet. It's running CyanogenMod, and I appreciate you guys watching. Have a nice day.